ねえ、新年の抱負は何？
そうだね。やっぱり日本語を上達させたいから、もっと本を読むよ。あと、もっと健康的になりたいな。アミは
私も本をもっと読みたい。あと、音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな。
なるほどね。
やる気があれば何でもできるよ。
よし。And we're recording. Me, 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 me.
みみみみ。
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learn Japanese Pod. How are you? And as always, I'm joined by our resident Japanese sensei, the amazing, wonderful Ami Sensei. Yay!
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, good.
Ami Sensei,
Yes.
I'm pretty excited. Are you excited?
Yes. Am I excited? You mean for this year?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Now, if you just have a question that you'd like us to answer on the podcast, don't forget to drop us a line at info@learnjapanesepod.com. That's info@learnjapanesepod.com. And let us know what you're thinking, people. What do you want to know? We'd love to answer if we can. And we have a huge, humongous announcement to make at the end of this podcast. But before that, I will ask the wonderful Ami Sensei to tell you about what you'll hear in today's podcast. So, Ami Sensei,
はい。
what's the word around the campfire?
Okay. Well, I want to say hi, everybody. Welcome back. Now, the theme of this podcast, the first podcast of the year, is New Year's resolutions. Right? Pretty fitting. So, first of all, we'll go through the main dialogue where you can learn how to talk about your plans for the coming year. You'll also learn some useful phrases to talk about self-improvement goals. And because it's the beginning of 2020, now's the perfect time to talk about this topic. Then we'll answer listener questions. And as Alex said, if you have a question, always feel free to drop us a line at info@learnjapanesepod.com. We can't promise we'll answer every question, but we always try our best, so we'll do as many as we can. And then after that, we'll go a little off script and talk about our latest goings on in Japanese, so you can practice your listening. Then, of course, we'll teach you the random phrase of the week, which is unsurprisingly a funny random phrase designed to make your Japanese friends laugh and ask, "Where on earth did you learn that?" And then finally, we have our big announcement at the end of the podcast, so stay tuned.
Thank you very much, Ami Sensei. So let's just go to the main dialogue for the podcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Have a listen, see how much you can understand, and then Ami Sensei and I will break it down and explain everything.
ねえ、新年の抱負は何？
そうだね。やっぱり日本語を上達させたいから、もっと本を読むよ。あと、もっと健康的になりたいな。アミは
私も本をもっと読みたい。あと、音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな。
なるほどね。
やる気があれば何でもできるよ。
よし。Okay, so how much of that did you understand? So let's start off with the first one, and this was ね、新年の抱負は何? So what did that mean, Ami Sensei?
So, ね is like, hey, or so. So you use it a lot at the beginning of sentences. 新年 is new year. の of. 抱負 resolution. And then は is a particle that points to the subject. So in this case, 抱負 nani is what. So, hey, what's your New Year's resolution?
And then what was the next one?
そうだね。やっぱり日本語を上達させたいからもっと本を読むよ。あと、もっと健康的になりたいな。 Ami wa? So it's kind of long, but we'll break it down for you. そうだね is basically like, let's see. And so you've probably heard this before in our previous podcasts, but this is a very good word to know. It's like, let's see. So you use it when you're thinking about the response to a question a lot, right?
And it's a really good way to buy time
Yes.
while you're thinking of what to say, right?
Like, so そうだね. やっぱり. So やっぱり means, well, it's probably, or it's gotta be, or I think it's gotta be. Right. So a little, kind of like, well, I think it should be this, or it's gotta be this.
And don't forget, we actually covered yappari
Yappari.
in a previous podcast. So check it out.
Yes.
Just go to learnjapanesepod.com and you'll find the lesson on what does yappari mean. And that'll explain it in full.
And then Nihongo, of course, you all know what that means. Japanese. O, another particle. And this one is usually between a noun and a verb, right, Alex?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. It just basically glues it together. One secret lesson that Japanese teachers don't often teach you is these particles are sometimes dropped by native speakers. So like you said, Ami Sensei, the O goes between the noun and the verb, the thing and the action you're doing to it, right? So Nihongo joutatsu sasetai. So I want to improve my Japanese.
Yes.
But actually, Ami Sensei, would you agree that you could also just say Nihongo joutatsu sasetai without the O?
Yes, you're absolutely right. So a lot of like native Japanese speakers may drop the O.
So people, don't worry too much about particles. Don't stress too much.
Don't stress too much, yeah. But in this case, 日本語を上達させたいから. So 上達 is to improve, させたい, want that to happen basically. から, and so, もっと本を読むよ. もっと is more, 本, book, を, there's that particle again, 読むよ, will read. So basically, I think I really want to improve my Japanese, and so I want to read more books. あと, also, もっと, there it is again, more, 健康的. 健康的 is healthy, になりたいな. なりたいな is I want to be, I want to become. So, also, I want to become more healthy. Ami wa? How about you, Ami?
And the last phrase, Ami wa, this is really cool. So Ami is obviously Ami Sensei, and then that wa at the end, if you just say like a word and then wa with a rising intonation, it means how about something, right?
Yes.
So you could say, Ami wa, how about you?
Really easy. Next. 私も本をもっと読みたい. あと、音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな. So, 私, as you may know, guys, 私 means I or me, right? も, so also. So, I also, okay, I'm agreeing to what I'm about to say, or what Alex said. 本をもっと読みたい. 本, book, をもっと, more, 読みたい, read. So, 私も本をもっと読みたい. I also want to read more books. あと, also, 音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな. So, 音楽活動 is like music related activities.
Exactly, yeah.
Music activities, yeah. Gigs and things like that. をもっと頑張りたいな. I want to do better and do more musical activities.
Which I think we're all very happy about. And because we all love your music, Ami Sensei.
Thank you.
And the other thing too is like when you're watching Japanese TV and they're interviewing a band or they're talking about the band's history, they often use ongaku katsudo.
Yes.
And it just means literally musical activities, but you'd say something like, this band has been together for like 10 years
Yeah,
now.
so like their history, their career,
Their career.
yeah, basically.
You could just say like 音楽をもっと頑張りたいな. Like I wanna
Sure.
really do more for music.
Music,
I wanna do more music this year. But if you say 音楽活動, it's like a wider meaning and it sounds a bit more natural, I think.
Yeah, I think and it sounds to me like you want to go out there or you want to actually do stuff. I think 音楽, if you just say 音楽, it's more general. Yeah, but if you say 音楽活動, it's like you're actually putting your music out there, whether it's physically or, just through media or whatever it is.
So basically, 音楽活動, if you say that, it also sounds to me like maybe you're a musician or you want to do music professionally. It's a bit more useful in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then after that, I said, なるほどね.
Uh-huh.
So what's the pronunciation for that?
なるほどね.
なるほどね. And what does that mean?
This is another good phrase or good word to know. So, なるほど means I see, and then ne just emphasizes it. So, I see. I gotcha.
Now, the next phrase you said is actually quite common, and it's an interesting phrase. You might not be able to work it out if you'd never seen those words before, but やる気があれば何でもできるよ. So what does that mean?
So やる気 is like the passion or the desire.
Motivation.
Yeah, motivation, sure. Motivation, that's the term. があれば. So あれば means if there is, right? Or if you have. So if you have that drive, that motivation, 何でもできるよ. 何でも is anything. できるよ is you can do. So you can do anything if you have the motivation.
And then I finished by saying yosh, which is kind of it kind of means let's do it.
It's like yes. Yep.
Let's do this thing, baby.
Like let's do it. Let's go. Yes.
Let's go. Yeah.
Like
good.
I got this.
So have another listen to the dialogue again, and then listen one more time just to Ami Sensei, and she'll do the pronunciation perfectly for you. So have a listen to that, and then we'll do a few more drills.
ねえ、新年の抱負は何？
そうだね。やっぱり日本語を上達させたいからもっと本を読むよ。あともっと健康的になりたいな。アミは？
私も本をもっと読みたい。あと音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな。
なるほどね。
やる気があれば何でもできるよ。
よし。
ねえ、新年の抱負は何？そうだね。やっぱり日本語を上達させたいからもっと本を読むよ。あと、もっと健康的になりたいな。アミは？私も本をもっと読みたい。あと、音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな。なるほどね。やる気があれば何でもできるよ。よし。
Okay, Ami Sensei.
はい。
As always, we say on Learn Japanese Pod, just listen and repeat. And the more times you repeat, the better your Japanese will become, and you'll be able to consolidate what you've learned a bit more effectively. So what are we going to drill today?
Okay, so we're going to drill one of my phrases, one of my lines. 音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな。
音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな。
So, I want to do more of, or I want to do better at so-and-so, or whatever. So, we're going to drill this phrase by interchanging the thing that we're going to 頑張る. Okay, so
right.
The first one is 音楽活動. musical activities, gigs. 音楽活動をもっと頑張りたいな。
Okay, what about if on the professional side of things, you want to basically do better at your job?
Sure.
Maybe get ahead in your career? What could you say?
You could say 仕事をもっと頑張りたいな。
So, 仕事をもっと頑張りたいな。
Mm-hmm. And then this next one might be more appropriate for our listeners. 日本語の勉強をもっと頑張りたいな。So,
You can work out what that means.
I hope so. I hope so. 日本語 Japanese の of 勉強 studying or learning.
So, I want to study Japanese a bit harder this year.
Yes.
Okay.
頑張って。
言うまでもなく、もちろん皆さんもっと日本語を勉強してください。
頑張ってください。I got a couple more. 運動をもっと頑張りたいな。So 運動 is exercise. 運動をもっと頑張りたいな。And sticking to the health side, here's another one that's commonly used. ダイエットをもっと頑張りたいな。So can you guys figure out what that means? It's super hard, right?
It's too hard for me. I can't even imagine
know.
what that means.
ダイエット。Diet. Losing weight. Okay, guys?
頑張る means to do one's best, right? So
Yes.
頑張りたい. I want to do my best.
Yes.
Or basically, it just means I want to do more of something.
Yes.
So there you go. That's something that maybe you could tell your Japanese friends. You know, they're going to ask you something like, 今年の目標は何ですか? Like, what are your plans for this year? What are your goals for this year? And then you can say whatever the goal is, をもっと頑張りたいな. So don't forget.
Don't forget.
Okay, let's go on to listener questions. And as we said, you can send us an email at info@learnjapanesepod.com. We try and fail to answer all of your questions, but we try to pick the best ones. And the first question is from Joseph. And Joseph, thank you very much for asking your question.
Thank you.
Joseph says, I'll be traveling to Japan in May. Welcome to Japan, Joseph. Mostly out of love for Japanese cuisine. Well, of course. Why
Yes.
else would you come to Japan?
Why else?
And why else, exactly. And he says, I'm nervous about things such as ordering food and drinks. Could you go over some basic phrases you'd use to order food at a restaurant or a fast food place? What are some things the waiter might ask me? And maybe some drinks you'd recommend ordering in a bar and how to say them properly.
Wow, these are great questions.
And you've come to the right place. So
Yes.
let's start off with the waiter. And Ami Sensei, you can correct my pronunciation on this, but I sometimes hear the waiter says, ご注文はお決まりですか? So are you ready to order?
ご注文はお決まりですか? ご注文はお決まりですか? I wouldn't say sometimes, Alex. It's probably like 99% of the time they're going to ask you that when they come back after they drop off the menus. Another interchangeable one that's like this ご注文はお決まりですか is お飲み物はお決まりですか? お飲み物はお決まりですか? So, have you decided on drinks?
お飲み物はお決まりですか? So you'll hear that a lot. And you know, we've mentioned this before on the podcast, but when you go to a restaurant or a hotel or you're dealing with people in the service industry, they are going to talk keigo at you. And if you don't know what keigo is, it is the very formal, respectful mode of Japanese that's quite difficult to learn, but you should definitely learn enough phrases so at least you can understand what's being said to you. So, ご注文はお決まりですか? That's a useful one. Another phrase I use a lot in the restaurant or when I'm going to an izakaya, which is a Japanese style pub, is すみません. すみません.
Excuse me.
excuse me, and you shout it a couple of times and they ignore you, and then eventually they see you. So, sumimasen. How do you pronounce that, Ami sensei?
すみません.
Sumimasen. Okay. And this is an old joke, but the old jokes are the best. Dear listener, what is the most common food in Japan? What is a food that every single restaurant in Japan serves? That's right. The food is kore. So kore means this. If you have a menu, and more often than not, you'll find that the menus actually have pictures of the food.
Yes.
You can just point to the menu and say, Ami sensei,
これください. これください.
これください.
Can I have this? Yes, exactly. This, please. これください or これをください.
Instead of teaching you a million different food words, which you won't remember right now, just say これをください. And then for drinks, one I learnt is nama, which just means beer or draft beer.
Draft beer.
Draft beer. If you want to be more polite, you could say nama onegai shimasu or nama o onegai shimasu. And then any other phrases, Ami sensei?
おすすめは?
That's a good one.
Yes. おすすめ is recommendation. So, おすすめは, you're asking, what are your recommendations?
Cool. Excellent. Yeah. And that's a really good one if you go into a restaurant and you're a bit overwhelmed by the menu and you just don't know what to choose. You can say, おすすめは? So, what do you recommend? So, Joseph, thanks for your question. That's a really good one. And actually, that question ties into our big announcement at the end of the podcast. Ooh. But you can wait for that. Let's go to another question. Ami sensei, dozo.
Okay. So we have a question from Miss Crystal. She says, Hi. Hello, Crystal. I absolutely love your podcast and listen every day. Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
I am likely going to transfer to Japan with my current company. Ooh, lucky you. Very cool. I love your podcast for the more casual conversations that I will need once I move. And I was hoping you could give me some advice about the best way to pick up some business Japanese before I go. Okay. So
that's a good one. Yeah.
And Alex, you have a recommendation, right?
I do have a recommendation for this. So it's been a while since I checked this book, but there's a really, really good business book that is called Jitsuyo Business Nihongo, or Practical Business Japanese, which is the English title. It's got this incredibly ugly cover. It's just the worst cover you've ever seen.
But don't judge a book by its cover, right?
Don't judge a book by its cover. Now, the contents are absolutely fantastic. So what they have is they have a bunch of lessons or topics that focus on certain situations you'll find yourself in a professional situation. So they've got stuff like introducing yourself on your first day of work, answering the telephone. And it's really good because there's a lot of business Japanese, there's a lot of keigo, and it's also got a bit of humor to it. So some of these situations are actually kind of funny and engaging. And they've also got some very natural conversations between colleagues in an office. And I think that's one of the best business Japanese books out there on the market. I will put a link to it.
Cool.
I'll put a link to it on the website for this lesson, but just do a search for Jitsuyo Business Nihongo, Practical Business Japanese. I forget who publishes it. I think it comes with an audio CD as well. Although I think these days maybe it's a downloadable file, but definitely check it out. It's really, really good, Crystal.
It's published by Aruku.
There you go. I thought so. So ALC, also known as Aruku, they're a big company that publishes language-related textbooks and manuals and things like that. So Crystal, I wish you the best of luck on your new job in Japan. And yeah, ganbatte kudasai.
Ganbatte.
So, dear listener, Ami Sensei and I are going to switch into Nihongo, and we're going to go a bit off script and talk about our latest goings on and maybe our future plans in Japanese. So 3、2、1。はい、日本語モードに
3、2、
切り替えました。
はい。はい、切り替わりました。そんなにエキサイティングなことは別にないんですけど、
ね、正月を過ごした。
正月は、そうですね、大晦日は
うん。
お友達の家に行って、
うん。
紅白を
お、
みんなで見ながら、みんなでご飯を持ち寄って食べて、年越しそばを食べた。
あ、いいね。あ、本当に
うんうんうんうんうん。
日本的なお正月。
うん、日本的なお正月がやっぱり
ん。
日本人だからか、好きかな。
どうやって紅白見れたの？
NHK、ケーブルテレビの NHK で、
あるの？
その生放送じゃないけど、
うん。
録画がアメリカ時間の大晦日に再放送されるっていうのがあって、こっちのケーブルで、はい、
ああ、なるほどね。
やってるんだよね。
だから日本人が、
見れるように。海外の日本人が見れるように、ちょうどアメリカのその、大晦日の時間にまた流れるっていう。
なるほどね。知らなかった。すごいね。で、アミ先生の新年の抱負は何？
新年の抱負は、さっきも言ったみたいに、まあ、音楽活動をもっと
やりたいね。
頑張りたい。
ね、ちょっとお願いしてもいい？
何ですか？
一緒に音楽やろうぜ。
やろう、ずっと言ってるよ。
ずっと言ってるよね。そう、ずっと言ってるけど、何もやってないよね。
私がね、たこ焼きの歌を完成させないと。
そう、たこ焼き。まず、
ね、
たこ焼きの歌を完成させて、で、次にアルバムを出しますよ。
それか、お好み焼きの歌。
そう、お好み焼きの歌。いいね。
で、お寿司とか。
全部の歌は食べ物の関係ね。
そう、食べ物の歌。アレックスは今年は？
そうだね。やっぱり今年はもっと Learn Japanese Pod を頑張りたいな。
私も。
ね、もっとポッドキャストを出したい。もっと
頻繁に
ポッドキャストを出したいと思うので、やっぱり何回もリスナー様に言われたので、できればなるべくもっと頻繁にポッドキャストを出したいと思うね。
アレックスが怒られたんだ。
そうね。本当に申し訳ございません。
みんな怒らないで、アレックスのこと。
ごめんなさい。
怒らないで。みんな、私たち2人とも、仕事もあるんで。これ以外の仕事もあるんで。はい。
大変ね。
許してください。でもね、今年はもっと出していきたいね。
そうね。あと、アミ先生みたいにもっと音楽活動を頑張りたいな。
みんなアレックスもね、素敵なミュージシャンなんですよ。
いえ、とんでもないです。そのことないですよ。
秘密にしてるかもしれないけど。実は。
嘘。で、このポッドキャストはやっぱり新年の抱負のテーマだよね。だから、ちょっとさっきこのポッドキャストを録音する前に、ちょっと日本人の男性と女性の新年の抱負についての記事を読んだよ。で、その記事はトップ5、新年の抱負のアンケートの結果があった。
なるほど。面白そう。
で、まずどっちにしようか。じゃあ男性はまずに。
男性の、分かれてるのね。男性と女性。
男性と女性に分かれてて、で、5位から1位までちょっと読みますね。で、多分ね、皆さんちょっと聞いていらっしゃる皆さん、ちょっと日本語の正しい言葉勉強になるかもしれないんで、まず5位、男性は5位はダイエットする。
5位はダイエットをする。
そ
OK。
う、ダイエットする。で、4位は彼女を作る。
彼女を作る。うん。
彼女を作るね。So, yeah, get a girlfriend. 3位はプライベートを充実させること。
お
要するに、仕事以外のことをもっと大切にすることね。だからやっぱり働きすぎ。
まあ大事、大事。特に日本のね、
うん
社会人は。うん。
そうそうそう。だからそういう仕事
う
と、
ん。
そのライフのバランス、あまり
うん
よく取れてない。
取れてない人が多いのかね。うん、
そう、だからフリータイムをもっと充実させたい人がいる。
うん
2位はお金を貯める。
ああ。貯めたいね。
貯めたいな。貯めたいな、お金ね。
欲しいね。難しいけど。うん。なるほど。
次は1位はちょっとびっくりしたけど、仕事を頑張る。
はあ、さすが日本。うん。
さすが日本の男性ですね。
うん。
しっかりしてますよね。
やっぱ仕事なんだ。
そうそうそう
そっか。
で、女性の方は、
うん
これが面白いよ。5位は
うん。
結婚する。
ああ、意外と低い。意外と
そうね。
5位。
ちょっと、そうそう、ちょっとびっくりした。あ、
もうちょっと上かなって思ったけど。
もっとなんか、なんていう、20年前だったら一番じゃない
ああ、そっ
かなと思った、ね。
かそっか。まあまあ、今の時代だったら
うん、
5位ぐらいなのかな。
そうね。で、4位はダイエットする。
ああ、これは絶対入ってるね。
入ってるよ
絶対
ね。
毎年。うん。
で、これが面白いね。3位は仕事を頑張る。
ああ、女性もね、やっぱり頑張りたいと思う。
2位はプライベートを充実させる。
ああ、女性はこっちのが上なんだね。
そうね。で、1位はお金を貯める。さすが、日本人の女性。いいね。
面白いね。だってお金を貯めるには仕事しなくちゃいけないのに、仕事よりプライベートを充実させるって。
そうね。
たまらないじゃんって。
そう。
面白い。なるほどね。
誰でも自分の銀行口座を見ると、お金は足りないという気持ちがあるんじゃない、誰でも。
ある。
そのお金持ちの人でも貧乏な人でも、人間っていうのはね、自分の標準として、ちょっとお金が足りないなと。
でも仕事の前にプライベートを充実させちゃったらね。
そうですね。
結局たまらないけど。
そう、たまらない。そう。
面白い。
だから面白いよね。だから、正直に言うと、このアンケートはちょっと前のアンケートね、4年前くらい、ね、だけど、大体、まあ今年はなんだろうね。あんまり変わってないと思うね。
変わらなさそう。
そう。で、皆さん来ていらっしゃる皆様の今年の目標は何でしょう？新年の抱負は何でしょう？ある？
何ですか？
あとね、新年の抱負はなんか時間の無駄という人もいると思うね。
あんまりどうでもいいっていう人もいるよね。
そう、なんか1月になんていう覚悟をしてすごい企画を立てて、で2月も飽きちゃう人もいると思う。
まあね。
だからでも皆さんは皆さんの目標を達成するように望みますので、皆さん頑張ってください。
頑張ってください。
And now, it's time for Random Phrase of the Week. So, Ami Sensei,
はーい。
as ever, you're always teaching us hilarious, amazing, weird Japanese phrases to make your Japanese friends fall off their bar stools and say, nani? So, what is this week's random phrase?
Okay, it is 奥が深い。
Oh.
So it's not funny or anything, but it's like a cool phrase to know because it's actually used pretty often.
So what does that mean?
奥が深い. So it actually kind of means something along the lines of, or there's more to it than it seems.
There's more than meets the eye, right?
Yes.
So it's deep.
Like there's a lot more depth. Exactly.
It's more profound, maybe.
Yes, because oku literally means like like beyond or like deep. Right.
And then fukai by itself just means deep. Yeah, right.
Yes,
right,
fukai itself means deep, and oku is like to the end, or down, down back. I guess.
Right. Yeah. So how would you use that in a sentence?
Okay, so there's a couple. Well, there's you could use it for a lot of things. First one is, for example, 日本語は奥が深い。日本語は奥が深い。
That's a good one. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
で、ね。
Does that mean so Japanese is a deep language, basically?
Yes.
That's what it's saying, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So it's not, there's a lot to it, and it's, a lot of depth, a lot of things behind it, basically.
Cool. So, could you use it for other things like objects and stuff?
Yes. Definitely. So, for example, この本は奥が深い。この本, this book, は奥が深い. So there's a lot to this book.
Right.
So maybe it's, maybe you're reading it, and then like the more you read it, or every time you read it, you like discover a new layer, right? Discover something new about it. So, 奥が深い, good phrase to know.
Oh, that's a good one. I guess, could you use 奥が深い to talk about Japanese sayings and proverbs?
Yes, Japanese sayings like 七転び八起き.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. 七転び八起き. So,
I think we've actually gone over that before.
We've talked about that before in previous podcasts, but yeah, 七転び八起き is like fall down 7 times, stand up 8. So it's, perseverance. Yeah, that's a good one.
Right.
Ami sensei, 奥が深いね.
Yeah. And now it's time for our huge announcement. Everybody ready? Drum roll, please. Bum.
And the big announcement is I will be representing Japan in the 100-meter sprint.
なんでやねん。違うでしょ。
違う。全然違う。
No,
嘘。
what is it?
I'm kidding. Not really. Ami sensei, what is our huge announcement?
Okay. So, okay, I'm not going to lie. The truth, the real announcement, okay, because more people will be visiting Japan, we thought it would be a good idea to make a new premium online travel Japanese course. And, surprise, surprise, we've called it the Instant Travel Japanese Course. Yay! So, it has 30 audio lessons grouped into travel topics such as asking directions, shopping, ordering food, visiting a temple, and sightseeing, just to name a few. Each lesson includes a main audio lesson, which will teach you phrases for various situations you'll find yourself in on your trip to Japan. We focused only on the most natural and frequently used vocabulary used by real native speakers in Japan. You'll also get extra audio drills to help you improve your listening and speaking skills. And by listening and repeating out loud what you hear, you'll increase your fluency and consolidate what you learn. And we also have included PDF lesson notes that list all the vocabulary and phrases in each lesson, plus full grammar explanations. And then at the end of the lesson, in the comment area, you can leave questions, make comments, and interact with other members on the course. And finally, you can download and keep all the content on the course for where you are on the move, or perhaps on the plane to Japan. This course is most suited for people who are planning to visit Japan or just want to learn authentic Japanese as used by native speakers in various daily situations. And this course is good for beginners. However, if you have been studying Japanese for a while and want to brush up on the basics and learn some new natural language not found in your average textbook, then this course is for you.
And we've been working really hard to make this course a reality, so I'm super duper happy this is finally available for you to use.
I know.
Yes, at last.
Yay.
Yay! And let me say, Ami has been working like a crazy person, helping to record the lessons and advise on authentic phrases, pronunciation, grammar, and cultural points of interest. And the other great thing about this course is, although we currently have 30 lessons, I'm pretty sure we'll be adding extra lessons. We might even change and edit some of those when we get feedback from you, lovely students. So if you sign up, you'll be able to give us your direct feedback, tell us what you think works, what needs to be changed, and then we can further improve the course. We might also add a forum or a separate Discord channel for all the members to hang out and talk to each other directly. And for more details, you can find out all about this course if you just go to our online dojo, and that dojo is at dojo.learnjapanesepod.com. That's dojo.learnjapanesepod.com, and click on the Instant Travel Japanese course link, and that will give you way more detailed information about the course. And dear listener, let me say, we can't do this without you. We want to help you on your journey to becoming more fluent in Japanese. So if you're really serious about improving your Japanese in 2020, do consider signing up to this course. We do want to help. And that's our big announcement. So thank you very much for listening. And hey, Ami Sensei, thanks for all your incredible hard work. I think we busted a gut making this course, didn't we?
Yes. I mean, it's a lot of fun. So I wasn't like stressed out or anything. So I'm very excited that it's finally coming out.
I didn't make you cry, did I? I hope.
No, not at all.
I cried a few times.
Alex cried, but
that's because that's because Ami Sensei is a far stronger person than me.
Alex is a wuss.
I'm a wuss. I'm a total wuss. I'm a sensitive artist.
No. So yeah, we're excited, and we hope you like it.
Yeah. So exactly. Yeah. So we're super happy that we finally put it out. But yeah, check it out and let us know what you think. Now, one final word about this podcast. If you enjoy this podcast and would like to show your support, please consider sharing a lesson from learnjapanesepod.com on social media. You can share on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or your preferred method of wasting time when you're in the bathroom. So the best way to share...
That's so funny.
It's true. It's totally true.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
You know you do it, don't you? Oh, yep. Yes, you do,
don't
people.
We all?
Don't we all? But hey, the bathroom has now become a new place to learn Japanese with apps and things. What am I talking about? But anyway, the best way to share is either something from our Facebook page or a lesson from the Learn Japanese Pod website. And just mention why that lesson was particularly useful to you. And the more you share, the more we can help people to improve their Japanese. So please consider that. It'll really help the podcast, and we want to build the community. So that's it for this week. Don't forget to listen to this podcast again and repeat out loud the phrases you hear. Send your questions to info@learnjapanesepod.com. Come and hang out with all the awesome, super amazing, cool people on the Learn Japanese Pod Discord channel. Just click on the forum link at the top of the learnjapanesepod.com website and you can become a member. And to those of you who feel like you aren't making much progress in Japanese, or life for that matter, I would say to you, keizoku wa chikara nari. And that literally means perseverance is power, or as I like to say, persistence beats talent and brains every time. Or even better, persistence eats talent and brains for breakfast. So just a little Japanese practice every day is enough to make the future you want to thank the current you. So think about that just a little every day. So be good to each other, people. Study Japanese. And see you in the next lesson. See you next time. Bye.
またね。
またね。